I walked into our house that night expecting a quiet dinner with my wife. Instead, the lights flipped on and a loud surprise erupted around me. Balloons, banners, drinks. My living room looked like a Pinterest board exploded. Everyone I knew was there. My buddies from work, her yoga friends, even my old college roommate, Jake. And right in the middle, holding a champagne glass like she was hosting the Oscars, stood Ashley, my wife. She was stunning, as always. Tight black dress, red lipstick, that fake smile she'd perfected over the years. "Happy birthday, babe," she beamed, planting a quick kiss on my cheek. Not the kind of kiss a wife gives her man, more like the kind you give a coworker on Secret Santa Day. That should have been my first clue, but I played along, smiled, hugged people, took shots. Everyone was so damn happy. Everyone but me. Something felt off. It wasn't just the vibe, it was her. Ashley was floating around the party like she didn't even know me. Every time I tried to get close, she was already on to someone else. Whispering in ears, laughing a little too loud, holding onto people's arms a little too long. And then it happened. I went upstairs to grab my phone charger, left it in the bedroom. That's when I heard them. Ashley and her two closest partners in crime, Taylor and Madison, in the hallway bathroom, door half cracked. "He has no idea," Ashley giggled. "I still can't believe you're doing it tonight," Madison said. "I mean, come on. It's poetic," Ashley whispered. "Throw him one last birthday party. Let him feel loved one last time. And then boom, papers on the table tomorrow morning." My heart stopped. "Does he even suspect anything?" Taylor asked. Ashley snorted. "Please. He's clueless. All he ever does is trust. Cute, but useless. After tonight, I'm out. I'm done pretending." The three of them burst into laughter. I stepped back, my hand shaking, phone charger forgotten. I wasn't angry yet. I was numb. Cold. I stood there, listening to my wife, the woman I built a life with, treat me like a running joke. They talked more. About Ryan. Some gym guy. Apparently, he made her feel alive again. I didn't need the details, but they kept talking, kept rubbing it in. I walked back downstairs with a smile so fake my jaw hurt. My heart was screaming, but my face stayed still. No one could know. Not yet. And when Ashley raised her glass and called for everyone's attention, I knew exactly what I was going to do. "To my amazing husband," she began, "who always supports me, always loves me, and who I will always." I cut her off. "Actually," I said, stepping up, "I have a toast too." Her smile wavered. "You do?" I nodded. "Yeah, but it's not for me. It's for you, Ashley." People were quiet now. Phones came out. Everyone thought I was about to propose again or something stupid. I turned to the crowd. "You see, folks, tonight I realized just how thoughtful my wife really is. She didn't just plan a birthday party. She planned a farewell party. Because tomorrow, she's serving me divorce papers." Gasps. Laughter stopped. Ashley's face went pale. "Don't worry," I continued. "I wasn't supposed to hear that. But I did. Every damn word. About how I'm clueless. About how Ryan from the gym makes her feel alive. About how this is my final night as her husband." I held up my glass. "So let's raise a toast. Not to my birthday, but to freedom. Hers, and now mine." Silence. You could hear ice melting in the drinks. Ashley's face twitched. Taylor and Madison looked like they'd just seen a ghost. I downed the whiskey in one gulp and walked straight out the front door. The party was over. But my story had just started. I didn't slam the door. I didn't scream or throw anything. I walked out slow, calm, every step heavier than the last. The cool night air hit me like a slap. It wasn't enough to numb what was boiling inside, but it was a start. I got into my truck, started the engine, and just sat there, staring at the steering wheel, fists clenched around it so tight my knuckles turned white. My birthday. My damn birthday. She picked that day to humiliate me, to plot behind my back and giggle about it with her Botox Barbies. My phone lit up with notifications. Ashley was calling. I ignored it. She texted. What the hell was that? Where are you? I didn't reply. Another message. Can we talk? Please. Not like this. Now she wanted to talk? After planning my emotional execution like it was a bridal shower? She could rot in that designer dress for all I cared. Still, I didn't go far. I parked 2 blocks down and waited. I needed to see who else left the party. Needed to know if Ryan would show up. Because if he did, I swear to God. But he didn't. After an hour, people started leaving. Small groups. Laughter awkward. A few looked over their shoulders, probably wondering if the whole thing was just a prank. Ashley didn't leave. Neither did I. At 1:17 a.m., she texted again. I'm sorry. Please. Just come home and talk to me. I stared at those words. Talk to me. Like we were some normal couple who had a spat over dinner. I pulled the truck around and parked in front of the house. The lights were still on. Balloons still floating near the window. The perfect scene of betrayal dressed up in birthday ribbons. When I stepped inside, Ashley was alone. Sitting on the couch with a wine glass, still in that black dress, mascara smudged. You came back, she said, her voice small. Fragile. I said nothing. I didn't mean for you to hear that, she added. My jaw clenched. So, you meant to do it. Just not have me know. No, it's not like that. Then explain it to me, Ash. What is it like? She stood up, wobbling slightly from the wine. I was going to tell you. I just didn't want to ruin your night. That made me laugh. Laugh. A short, bitter noise I didn't recognize coming from myself. You didn't want to ruin my night? You threw me a party with your friends, toasted to my loyalty, and then planned to serve me papers like it's a damn TV show. But hey, at least I got cake first, right? Tears welled up in her eyes, but I didn't care. Not anymore. She'd used those too many times before. Tears to dodge a fight. Tears to play the victim. But not this time. I didn't want to hurt you, she whispered. You've been lying to me for how long? Silence. I stepped closer. How long, Ashley? She looked away. For months. It hit me like a gut punch. With Ryan? She nodded. I should have hit something. The wall. The table. Anything. But all I did was blink. For months. For months of lies. For months of her kissing me in the morning and king someone else in the evening. For months of fake smiles, fake love, fake everything. You disgust me, I said flatly. Ashley wiped her face and sat down again. It just happened. I felt so trapped. Like I wasn't living. And that's my fault. No, he made me feel free. That word. Free. Like I was some prison guard in her suburban nightmare. Like she was the victim for being loved, protected, and provided for. You wanted out, I said, stepping toward the door. You got it. She stood up suddenly. Wait, where are you going? Out. Away. Somewhere where I can breathe without choking on your lies. And I left again. This time, it felt different. Not like I was running, but like I was done. I crashed at Jake's place that night. He opened the door in boxers and a hoodie, eyes half shut, holding a beer like it was part of his hand. What the hell, man? He said, stepping aside. It's like 2 a.m. I walked in without saying a word, dropped onto his couch, and buried my face in my hands. He didn't push. Just tossed me a pillow, then another beer. I didn't even touch it. After a minute of silence, he asked, Was it Ashley? I nodded. He sighed and sat across from me. I always had a feeling about her. That made me look up. What do you mean? Jake hesitated. You remember that weekend she said she went to her cousin's wedding in Miami? Yeah. Last month. She wasn't in Miami. I saw her downtown. With some guy? They were holding hands, looked close. I felt the blood drain from my face. You didn't tell me? I asked, barely keeping my voice steady. You were glowing about her, man. Talking about buying a lake house together, planning that trip to Italy. I didn't want to be the guy who put doubt in your head if it was nothing. I couldn't even be mad. That's how broken I was. Jake wasn't the one who gutted me from the inside out. Ashley did. And the fact that there were signs, and I just didn't see them, or refused to, made it all worse. I stayed up all night staring at the ceiling. I didn't sleep, didn't move. My mind was a loop of everything. Her laugh at the party, the words she said in the hallway, her tears when I confronted her, and Jake's voice confirming it all. Morning came like a hangover from a dream I never asked for. I took a cold shower, threw on the same clothes, and checked my phone. 17 missed calls. 9 messages. All from her. Can we talk again? I didn't want it to go this way. Please, I'm sorry. I panicked last night. Just talk to me. Please. I scrolled. The last one said, Come home. Let's talk like adults. Like adults? Now she wants to pretend we're equals again? Like she didn't spend the last 4 months letting another man press his filthy hands on the life we built? Still, I needed answers. Not for closure. I didn't believe in that crap anymore. I needed the truth, raw and bitter. The kind that tastes like blood when you bite your tongue to keep from screaming. So I went home. The balloons were deflated, the house a mess. Ashley was sitting at the dining table, her makeup from the night before smeared, hair in a messy bun, hoodie draped over her dress like she couldn't decide which version of herself to be. "Thanks for coming back," she said softly. I stood at the doorway, arms crossed. "Don't thank me. Just talk." She hesitated, then stood up and walked toward me, stopping just short of arm's reach. "I never wanted to hurt you. That wasn't the plan." I laughed. "Yeah, well, you nailed it anyway." She flinched. "I didn't fall for Ryan right away," she continued. "It started with flirting. He made me feel different. Not like a wife. Not like someone's possession. You were never my possession," I snapped. "You were my partner. My damn wife. But you never saw that, did you?" Her eyes darted down. She didn't deny it. "I used to dream about growing old with you," I said. "Now I can't even stand the sound of your voice." "I know," she whispered. "I know I ruined everything." I nodded slowly, letting her words hang in the air. Then I said what had been burning in my chest all night. "You didn't just ruin us, Ashley. You turned me into someone I don't recognize. Someone who questions everything. Every word. Every touch. Every smile." Tears rolled down her cheeks, but I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just empty. I walked past her, grabbed the photo from our wedding off the shelf, stared at it for a second, then placed it face down. "Start packing," I said. "You've got 48 hours. She gasped. "You're kicking me out." "I'm taking the house. The dog. Everything. You can have your freedom, remember?" And with that, I walked back out. Didn't look back. Didn't need to. Ashley didn't leave in 48 hours. Of course she didn't. She texted me the next day saying she needed more time, that she was trying to figure things out. But I knew her game. She thought if she stretched this long enough, cried enough, maybe I'd fold. Maybe I'd forget the fact that she used my birthday as the backdrop for my public humiliation. But I didn't fold. Instead, I met with a lawyer, Lindsay Ford. Sharp, cold, and precise. The kind of woman Ashley would hate. Lindsay didn't offer sympathy. She offered strategy. She cheated, I told her. I've got no proof. Just my ears, and the fact that she admitted it. Lindsay nodded, tapping on her keyboard. "That'll do. But if we can dig anything up, photos, receipts, messages, it'll go a long way." "Do you have access to her email?" That was the thing. I used to. Until a month ago when she accidentally changed her password. One of those little things I'd brushed off. Like the new lingerie she never wore for me. Like the late-night yoga sessions. Like the way she started sleeping facing the other direction. "I'll get it," I told her. When I got back to the house, Ashley was sitting on the porch, holding a cup of coffee like she lived in some peaceful countryside. Like nothing had exploded around her. "You went to a lawyer?" she asked without looking at me. "Yeah," I said, walking past her. "And I'm changing the locks tomorrow." She followed me inside. "Do we really have to do this like enemies?" I stopped, turned. "You started this war, Ashley. I'm just making sure you don't win it." Her face twisted. "You think this is about winning?" "No," I said. "I think this is about betrayal. And I'm making damn sure you don't get to walk away smiling." She didn't follow me after that. Instead, I went into our office, fired up the laptop she barely used anymore. She thought she was smart, clearing history, deleting apps. But I remembered she used her email for everything, even syncing her calendar. And she was careless. One password reset later, I was in. What I found wasn't shocking, but it still punched me in the chest. Dozens of emails to Ryan. Hotel reservations. Screenshots of jokes I'd made that she'd sent to him with captions like, "This is what I deal with, LOL." Private messages. Photos. One of her in my shirt, in his apartment. I stopped breathing. It wasn't just the physical betrayal. It was the way she made me the clown in their private circus. The way she twisted every moment, every gesture of love, into something to mock. But the worst part? She said she loved him. "I think I could really love you," she wrote. "Not like the dull love I have at home, but real and wild." That was it. I forwarded every email, every screenshot, every hotel booking to myself. Compiled them into a folder named Truth. Then I walked downstairs. Ashley was back on the couch, watching some show like she didn't just napalm our life. She looked up, hopeful. "What?" I threw the flash drive on the coffee table. "That's for the lawyer." Her eyes widened. "You went through my..." "Yep." She jumped up. "That's illegal." I smirked. "So is adultery in half the states we visited as a couple. Guess we're both criminals now." Ashley tried to speak, but nothing came out. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. I leaned closer, eyes burning. "You don't get to lie anymore. You don't get to play the victim. You don't get sympathy. You get reality. She turned away, tears in her eyes again. But I was done with that act. I'm not your safety net, I said. I'm the man you set on fire so you could dance around the flames and call it freedom. Then I left the house again, my house. I didn't slam the door. I locked it behind me. The locksmith came at 10 a.m. sharp. It was raining, lightly, like even the sky didn't want to be part of this story anymore. I stood on the porch in a hoodie and jeans, arms crossed, watching the man change out the locks like he was replacing a light bulb. Ashley wasn't home. She'd gone to clear her head the night before after our last showdown. Probably ran crying to Ryan's gym, hoping he'd lift her back to emotional safety. I didn't care. Let her beg that clown to play house. Let him figure out that she's all perfume and poison. Done, the locksmith said, handing me the new set of keys. Thanks, I replied, sliding them into my pocket. The metallic sound they made felt final. Clean. I didn't message her. I didn't know her a heads up. She lost the right to my kindness the second she invited her affair into our life like it was a guest room reservation. Instead, I called my lawyer. Locks changed. She's officially out, I said. Good, Lindsay replied. We'll move forward with the filing. I'll request temporary exclusive use of the property. Do you have a list of assets? Yeah, and a folder of evidence that'll make her boyfriend wish he never touched a married woman. There was a pause on her end. That helps. A lot. After the call, I sat at the kitchen table. Just sat. For an hour. Maybe two. I stared at the empty seat across from me. The one she always used, legs tucked under her like a child. I used to make her pancakes on Sundays there. I used to kiss her forehead when she sipped coffee too hot. Now that seat felt like a ghost. And not the haunting kind. The disgusting kind. Like a chair in a crime scene. The house was too quiet. So I went room by room and started packing up her things. Not carefully. Not lovingly. I ripped clothes off hangers, dumped makeup into trash bags, yanked photo frames off walls. Every picture of us. Gone. Every stupid quote she hung up, love lives here, shattered on the floor. I didn't rage. I didn't scream. I just executed the process. An hour in, I opened her drawer and found a box. At first, I thought it was old jewelry. Maybe one of the lockets I gave her that she hadn't bothered to wear since Christmas. But inside, love notes. Dozens of them. Not from me. From him. Written in sloppy handwriting. Scented with her perfume. Each one more nauseating than the last. You taste like danger, and I want more. I dream about you while he sleeps next to you. You deserve a man who makes you scream in every way. I closed the box. Taped it shut. Marked it, Ryan's trash. The irony? I kept trying to figure out when she changed. When the woman I loved vanished, and this cold, manipulative version of her appeared. But reading those notes, I realized something brutal. She hadn't changed. She'd always been this. I just didn't want to see it. By the time she got home that evening, her bags were lined up by the front door. 3 black garbage bags and 1 pink suitcase. Ashley stepped inside, saw the mess, and froze. You locked me out. No. I freed myself. She looked at the bags. You went through my stuff? I did more than that. I stripped the disease out of my house. Her mouth twisted, trying to find a way to fight back, to claw her way into an argument where she could win. You think this makes you strong? She hissed. Throwing me out like I'm garbage? No, Ashley, I said coldly. What made me strong was staying loyal to someone who didn't deserve a second of it. What makes me smart is finally cutting you out like a tumor. She stared at me, but I didn't blink. You're going to regret this, she said quietly. No, I replied, stepping past her and opening the door. You are. And with that, I tossed her pink suitcase outside. She followed. The door shut behind her. And this time, I did lock it. I thought that would be the end of it. She was gone. The house was mine again. The silence didn't feel hollow anymore. It felt clean, like detox. But I should have known better. People like Ashley don't leave without trying to take something with them. 2 days after I threw her out, I got an email from her lawyer. She was demanding half the house, half the savings, even custody of Bentley, our Labrador, who she never even walked unless it was for Instagram. Suddenly, the same woman who laughed about leaving me behind was trying to carve up my life like she still owned it. I stared at that email for 10 minutes. Then I forwarded it to Lindsay with one line. Time to bury her. We filed a counterclaim the next morning. Every photo, every email, every receipt was cataloged and labeled. Lindsay was a machine, cold and calculating, exactly what I needed. She smiled once while reading one of the notes from Ryan. "This one's gold," she said, waving a screenshot. "She admits he stayed over while you were out of town. That's infidelity with timestamps." "Good," I replied. She wanted to burn the bridge. "I'm just making sure she can't swim back across." Later that week, I saw Ashley again. Not by choice. I was coming out of the grocery store, milk, eggs, dog food, the basics, and she was just there, leaning on her car like she was posing for a rom-com poster. Tight jeans, leather jacket, smirk like nothing had happened. "Hey," she said. I walked past her like she was a stranger. I said, "Hey," she snapped. I stopped, turned. "What?" She stepped forward. "You're really doing this? The whole scorched earth thing? I gave you years of my life. And I gave you everything," I said. "You just gave me Ryan." She rolled her eyes. "He's not even in my life anymore." I raised an eyebrow. "Oh, what happened?" He realized side pieces don't make good wives. That one hit. She flinched. "Good. Don't be cruel," she whispered. "You planned a divorce behind my back and served it with cake," I said. "Cruel was your specialty." She looked down, arms crossed. "I didn't mean for it to go like that." I stepped closer. "But you meant for it to go? You plotted my goodbye while I was planning our anniversary." She didn't respond. Just stood there, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. "Here's the part you didn't expect," I continued. "You thought you could break me. You thought I'd fall apart and beg you to stay. But instead, I'm rebuilding without the weight of your lies." Ashley blinked fast, like she was holding back tears. But I wasn't playing that game anymore. "Oh, and by the way," I added, "Bentley stays with me. He actually loves me back." I walked away before she could say anything else. I was halfway to my car when she called out, "You think this makes you better than me?" I turned, smiled coldly. "No, just cleaner." That night, I finally did something I'd been putting off. I opened the safe in the closet, pulled out our wedding album, and I burned it. Page by page, I fed it into the fireplace. Our first dance, our honeymoon, her fake smile in every damn photo. Ashes. As the last page turned black and curled into smoke, I felt lighter. Not healed, but finally healing. Later, as I sat with Bentley curled up beside me and a glass of bourbon in my hand, I thought about how far I'd come in just a few weeks. She threw me a party to say goodbye, but all she really did was give me the best gift I never asked for. Freedom. One thing about betrayal, it's got a long echo. You don't just hear it once. It follows you. Every time your phone lights up. Every time a friend asks how you're doing. Every time you drive by a place where you used to laugh with someone who was stabbing you in the back the whole time. A week after burning the wedding album, I got a message on Instagram from someone I didn't know. The profile picture was a gym logo. "Hey, are you Ashley's husband?" I stared at it for a second. "Ex-husband," I replied. The guy messaged back within seconds. "I need to tell you something. I used to work with Ryan. I know things you should probably hear." I gave him my number. We spoke for 2 hours. Turns out, Ryan had a reputation: homewrecker, liar, narcissist. He'd done this before. More than once. Apparently, he got off on it. He liked ruining relationships. Found it thrilling, in his own words, according to the guy. But the twist? Ashley wasn't even his only affair at the time. She wasn't special, the guy told me. He said she was easy, lonely, said she'd do anything for attention. I didn't even flinch. That part of me, whatever had still wanted to believe she'd been manipulated, died right there. Then he sent me a photo. It was a candid shot taken at a bar a few weeks before my birthday party. Ryan and Ashley, all over each other. Not romantic. Not sweet. Desperate. She looked at him like he was a god. He looked at her like she was a toy. I stared at that photo for a long time. Then I sent it to Lindsay. Added to the file, I texted, "Let's bury both of them." She replied with a thumbs up and a fire emoji. That woman was a savage. Later that evening, my phone rang. Ashley. Of course. I let it go to voicemail. She left a message anyway. "Hey, I heard you've been talking to people. About Ryan. About me. I don't know what you're planning, but I wish you wouldn't make this uglier than it already is." I played that message twice. Each time it made me grin a little more. Uglier? She invited ugly the moment she turned our marriage into a joke. That night, I went to a bar Jake recommended. Low lighting, strong whiskey, no fake smiles. Just real people living real lives. I sat at the counter, ordered a double, and finally, felt like I wasn't carrying her ghost anymore. A woman sat a few seats down. blonde, maybe late 20s, reading a book. Not on her phone. Not posing for pictures. I didn't talk to her. Didn't flirt. Just noticed her. It felt good to notice again, without guilt clinging to it. When I got home, the house was dark, quiet, peaceful. Bentley patted over and dropped his head in my lap, like he could feel the shift in me. Like he knew the war inside was finally starting to end. The next morning, I got a call from Lindsay. She offered a settlement, she said. What kind? She wants to walk away with 30% of the assets. No claim on the house or the dog. But she wants a confidentiality clause. No public dragging. I paused, then smiled. She's scared. She should be. I thought about it for a second. I had the power now. I could keep pressing. Make her sweat. Ruin her reputation in every circle she tried to slither back into. But you know what? I was tired of the dirt. I'll accept it, I said. On one condition. Which is, she writes it in the agreement. She cheated. She lied. She accepts full responsibility. Put it in legal ink. I want it framed. Lindsay laughed. You're colder than me. I've had a good teacher, I replied. That night, I slept like a man who'd finally pulled the knife out of his back. Not healed, but dangerously close. 2 weeks later, the papers were signed. Ashley had her lawyer send over the final agreement, stamped, sealed, legally binding. It included everything I demanded, her admission, her surrender, and her silence. It was all there in black and white. I, Ashley Monroe, acknowledged that I engaged in an extramarital affair during my marriage. I take full responsibility for the breakdown of the relationship and relinquish any claims to shared property, including the residence and family dog. I read it twice, then a third time, not because I didn't believe it, because I wanted to savor it. It wasn't revenge. It was justice. I printed out a copy, framed it in a sleek black border, and hung it in the home office. Right above the safe where our wedding album used to be, where that life we faked used to sit behind steel and a 4-digit code. Now, the truth was on display. That weekend, I hosted a small barbecue. Jake brought beer. My cousin Liam brought ribs. A couple of co-workers showed up with their wives. People laughed. Bentley ran around the yard chasing a tennis ball like life had never changed. The house felt alive again. Not perfect, but real. And for the first time in months, I laughed. Not a broken laugh. Not a bitter one. Just real, easy, from the chest laughter. In the middle of it all, Jake pulled me aside. You did it, he said. Did what? Came out of hell still standing. I raised my beer. Not just standing. Building. The next day, Ashley tried calling again. I let it go to voicemail. She sent one last message. I hope someday you can forgive me. I didn't respond. Because I had nothing left to say. There's this myth that closure comes from confrontation, from that final conversation where someone breaks down and begs. But that's not how it works. Closure isn't given. It's taken, quietly, powerfully, when you stop waiting for someone to explain why they broke you and start building without them. In the following months, my life changed. I redecorated the house, got rid of every trace of her, painted the bedroom navy, ripped out the fake flowers she used to litter everywhere, replaced them with real plants, ones I could keep alive, unlike that marriage. I hit the gym harder, not out of anger, just purpose. Started journaling, too. Every day, one line, what did I learn? One entry stuck with me. Loving the wrong person teaches you exactly what the right one should feel like. Ashley's betrayal didn't destroy me. It revealed me. Revealed the parts of me I'd been quieting for years. The strength, the clarity, the refusal to beg for respect I'd already earned. People ask me now if I miss her. I don't. I miss the version of her I thought existed. The illusion. But the truth? That woman never really loved me. She loved the security I gave her. The image. The stability. And the second a thrill came by with a six-pack and a membership card, she jumped ship. I didn't lose a wife. I lost a lie. And I gained something better. Myself. So here's what I'd tell any man walking through the fire I walked through. Don't just survive. Rebuild. Don't sit in the ashes waiting for her to come back with a bucket of lies. Let the fire purify you. Let it burn away the weakness, the doubt, the fantasy. And when it's over, smile. Not because it didn't hurt, but because it did, and you came out stronger anyway. Because when she threw me that birthday party, she thought she was saying goodbye to a broken man. What she didn't know is that the man walking away from that night was finally free.